Yeah. So there's like two separate things. So we got Hollywood, Kings Row. Yep, below that. There's one below that. Yep. Yep. So first up, we got King of the Hill with Ilios. That's like determined. Yep. And then hybrid is that choice. Oh, is it? No, it's the hybrid. I'm pretty sure they've got a choice of Hollywood or King. Control map is Ilios. That's the first one. Yeah.
Wait, is he gonna say when we're live?
We're live already.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AAOL finals. We got Con Artist versus FoulPlay up first, Racket, and here's my glorious, sexy partner. What's going on, brother?
G'day, mate. Good to be back. Finally back in the casting. It's been a while. I guess our last entry was the finals of the ESO Open, so good to see some more
Overwatch
coming
Open.
in.
Overwatch Open.
Overwatch, yeah, no. They
They
change it all the time, mate.
Yeah, well, in any case, well, the Overwatch Open still running on the weekends, but we'll wait for those streams to come online. But we have the AAOL finals right here for you. This is the 3K plus league. We also have the amateur league on the other channel. So if you want to go check that out, do so as well, because there's the two AAOL channels. But first, Con Artist versus FoulPlay. This is for third and fourth place Racket. What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, certainly going to be an interesting matchup coming into this one. I think CoN artists haven't seen too many of their names, but I do know some of the people in FoulPlay, and they are both teams, of course, in this Division 2 scene, just fighting to try and fight for those top spots. And as I said on my video, feel free to follow my YouTube channel, just a quick plug. A lot of these Division 2 teams are popping up, and it's good to see that a lot more are trying to establish themselves and not disbanding. So finally, teams are actually, sticking through to the end, and the more consistent results will be determined on the guys that stick it through.
Yeah, especially with the Overwatch League now, and then you've got contenders coming to ANZ, and then you've got the Open, so it's like a trickle down effect. So the more support there is from Blizzard and money going into the scene up the top, it all trickles back down, because we ended up bottoming out recently towards like halfway through last season when we ran out of competitions. So it's all been like a building block phase. So it's good that we have all these competitions now, even for the amateurs. So it's open for anyone at like any rating to come in and start playing. So that's why we're here today. We're here to shout everyone out and give some love to the other teams, and we're gonna see what these teams are going to bring to the table, because we're going to see 12 teams make it through to the Open. So even some of these teams might make it their Racket.
Yeah, certainly, and I think one of the most interesting things as well, obviously within different sort of skill levels, I'm interested to see what these guys practice the most, right, and what they want to take into this AAOL match. See if they would maybe try to replicate some of the Overwatch League strats. What have they been doing in scrims? Are they trying to practice these new type of like Roadhog Orisa compositions? Are they reverting to the normal dive, or have they found their own identity? And there's only one way to find out. We will find that out rather soon.
Yeah, it's because like Frisco, big shout out to her. She makes my Twitch emotes, so much love. So I don't want to try and be biased though. So Froggo, is that like Frogger's little brother, mate?
It could be. Depending on what role it is, maybe Maybe it was Frogger if it was in DPS. It's like an alternate parallel universe or something.
So Frogger's little brother. That's how we're going to say it anyway. We're going to be on Ilios first up in the best of 3. It will be best of 5 when we hit our grand final. We can see the glorious Arceus and his fabulous diva plays after this. But RM McNatty. Do you think we'll see some nutty plays from McNatty?
Well, if we're...
Doomfist.
Look, maybe we're going to see the Doomfist. It's actually one of the most intriguing things about looking at a lot of these scrims. These teams actually do run a lot more Doomfist than what would say like the top sort of 5 teams, and favoring that hero because of how relentlessly aggressive he is, and people maybe not electing to play a very difficult hero like Ana to try and counter it, and McCree. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually do see some Doomfist, but in saying that, it's a very fire-centric map, so if you are running Doomfist, you need to make sure that you lock in that hit scan with that McCree, and it looks like they're doing that.
As the seconds tick down, big shout out to everyone that's joining us here tonight. This is the 3rd and 4th place game in the Amateur Australian Overwatch Finals. So let's see what happens as the points, or not the points, rather the Jets unlock. McNatty will be the first one, rotating towards the point as the Pharaoh with Delta up high. Trying to put some pressure down early as McNatty's about half health. Then we've got the Orisa and the Roadhog, so an interesting combination from both of these two teams moving on to Ilios.
Yeah, and that ult from Orisa can be so useful. A Mag already pulled out into the well. This is what we're going to see on this map. A lot of Orisa's ults trying to get everyone in that well, and Frox with that environmental in the middle has kicked things off very well.
We've already traded out. No one's going to get the point just yet, but Delta being swatted out of the sky from Frox. That will allow the CoN artists to get the first cap of the match.
Yep, so the key winning condition in this map, of course, is to utilize that Orisa shield. Make sure that when you do poke out, you're outside of that Roadhog Sook range. Otherwise, that's going to be a ticket down to that big hole right in the middle of the map. And so far, the red team has not been so successful in that.
Natty just a little bit worse for wear. Just going to heal up as they begin to move into the choke. FoulPlay trying to do what they can with Delta high up. Cassowary still has the shield down, and Frost goes down the background with Cassowary with a nice little boot. Magnet still on top of cup, moving forward. Colonel will go down. Colonel Wong. Someone's called him Colonel Wang there. And they're going to be flexing the big D because they end up capping the point.
There we go, FoulPlay getting some vengeance. Now they're back onto the point. They have access. This is what they want. These Orisa compositions, they're very good once you do have the point, because you can establish a stationary position and make sure you get those targets down. And of course, this pharmacy composition has made this other team in CoN artists to make sure to get double hit scan. So look for Delta to have a little bit more of a troubling time in the air.
23% for FoulPlay, and they've got a couple of ults as well, but Arch has been taken down by Frost. Now they have a man advantage, moving forward onto the point with Scuff going down. Mag's going to get shifted in, but Frost will join him, so they'll get a trade out. Cassowary needs to start backing up, still doing a good job with the shield. Ready to put it back up. Froggo gets the resurrection on Cuff, gives it a couple more players. Pulse Bomb, not going to be able to achieve anything for Arch, but he will finish off Colonel Wong. But he gets resurrected from Froggo Racket, so they still have enough members to keep trying to capture this point.
And this is a really elongated fight right now. When the flashbang did miss there from a Chris, that means a Tracer and Arc can roam freely right now. When the Lucio was unfortunately picked off there by Mag, and still FoulPlay, they're gaining control of this point. There's Pharmacy, but no! Natty gets a nice midi on Delta. This could provide some room.
Froggo can't get up just in time. Gets Colonel Wang with the help of that boost from the whole hog. As Buzz, Falcon Buzz, will get double resurrection. Cuff's going to slam down Briscoe. Delta soon to follow. There's FoulPlay trying to hold on to the side, but they don't have too many members. But with the kills on Cheskers, and Mag, he's got to follow as well. They trade out 35% if... it's slipping my mind here. CoN artist. Capture this. So many new players. I'm losing my mind.
Well, let's see if they can con their way back into the point. But the hope is providing Natty to be a little bit more difficult, but the rocket barrage does get shut down as well. Break it down, also invested into this fight.
The high noon with Delta being destroyed. FoulPlay have done a fantastic job to hold on to the 99% mark. They still have 2 ults as well, Racket.
It looks like they are going to lose this fight. CoN Artists do manage to get control of the fight, and this pretty much gives FoulPlay the opportunity to save their amount of ultimates. In fact, they do have resources to invest into this next fight if that Farah does get a Rocket Barrage. It could be a little bit more difficult, but Arc with that pulse won't see if he can get an opening, a pick at the start of this fight to make sure that they can collapse back onto the point, because they only need one more to take this map in well.
Spreading out this FoulPlay before they bounce back into the choke point. Need to be careful, but Arch throws down a pulse bomb. Tag a couple of members, but it can be easily healed up. The hook comes in on Frost. He's very low. Discord Orb as well has to back away. Natty moves forward, but they've got the whole hog from Mag. Can he find any members though? Froggo trying to get to safety as Frost gets the hook on Mag as he dies, so he gets the trade, and Froggo swoops in to pick up Frost. Cassowary gets one back on Cuff as he gets resurrected anyway from Froggo. Both teams trading out. That's pretty close, but it is the CoN Artists staying in control.
Great value from that Valkyrie there. Froggo coming in safely, making sure the support's within range to make sure that he was absolutely safe when trying to get those reses. And FoulPlay, they're going to be pushed for words at the moment, and going to have to get onto the point very quickly, and I think they can.
97%, make that 98 is ticked up. Overtime is here. Who will be reigning supreme? And it could be the reign of justice from the skies from McNatty. He is a legend in the making, as Frisco, the last one to fall, just need to deal with Arch, and that will be the first point going over to the CoN Artists.
That wasn't a rocket barrage, that was a nuclear barrage. That took out everyone in that area. Good value of that ability. Man, that's a way to end your victory on well, just fragging out your DPS, looking very confident in the end there. But look,
You have to deal with McNatty. Does he like RMC Natty? Does he prefer that? Someone let me know in the Twitch chat. I don't like getting players' name wrong. Players' names wrong. So anyway, as we tick down, we have Arch on the Widowmaker, and same with Cuff. So it's gonna be that Widow battle, mate. What do you think's gonna happen?
well, let's see how it works. Arc's job is to really make sure that Cuff is shut down here, because Arc is primarily probably going for Natty in a lot of these fights, considering the impact that he had last game. So going to try and lock that down. At the same time, really want to make sure that he doesn't get that massive rocket barrage. So Widowmaker is going to be a very key pick here for both teams. Arc to neutralize the other one, and Cuff to neutralize the other one, plus as far as roaming around.
And the point begins to unlock. Frost has got the flame strike off of Cassowary, as Briscoe is going to soon follow. It's all lit up here for the CoN Artists, and they're already 1 point ahead, so this is going to give them a lot of momentum.
And quite a classic composition besides the Farah and Widowmaker. Electing to run the Reinhardt, Diva, Lucio. So once they do have control of the point, this is their best shot. But Arc with a kill on the Mercy, that is absolutely huge. But he still is being pressured out in the sky from Natty, making sure to try and make those line of sights a little bit more difficult to get.
Picking up 20%. No one with their ultimates, but maybe Del can get that pulse bomb up. But Natty's gone down from Arch with that Widowmaker. Now they had that entry, they move forward with Cassowary, and he's already got a member, so they've got the picks so far, Racket. Can they finish the cap?
I did a good job at the entry, and yes, it looks like they're going to be successful with that. Good job from Arch there, despite dying in the end. Managed to get two crucial picks, both Mercy and Farah. So Pharmacy eliminated from that one presence. And of course, he's going to be the main person to target if you are in the team, but already both shots. These Widows, they're looking to get these picks, and Arch was the person to engage last time. Can Cuff try to retaliate?
Take a look, Mag is ready to go with the self-destruct, and Frisco, he has Valkyrie on hand as well. So you need to be careful. If Frisco can stay alive, you can imagine that they're going to keep the percentages up, but they've already thrown in the self-destruct right on the ramp. Not going to pick up any members, but in that little bit of chaos, Arch gets a pick, but Cuff is brought back to life to bring it 6 on 6. There goes Valkyrie, but they have their own sound barrier, so the CoN Artists, they're going to throw another defensive ult back.
They need to try and win this point over, and Mag with those micro missiles making sure to demolish everyone onto this point. FPS Frisco getting the resurrection onto the Zenyatta despite the amount of action on point, which means they have both supports available. And once again, another successful take in the column for FoulPlay.
Don't want to give up. They've got that momentum now. We can get Arch, get his Emperor's side up. And with that Primal Rage, and Zenyatta's ult, the Transcendence. They'll be in a pretty good position, Racket. Make sure to stop people coming in through this choke point and hold on. Oh, it's going to be quite difficult as Frost has already gotten a good position as the Reinhardt, and Cassowary's half health is getting healed up from Frisco. Trying to electrocute as many people as possible, but he lands an Earth Shatter, but people get pushed back, and now they charge forward with that Rocket Barrage.
There we go, that's a lot of damage coming in through there. Mag managed to get back in the back, but he still has Rocket Barrage available, but the kill feed, Froggo is getting a lot of members back online, and support ultimates are being invested.
There's the Transcendence from Falcon, but he's going to get charged away. Have a good time over there, son, because the team's on the opposite side. Frost can easily sledge his way to a victory there. Wong needs to get out of the way, self-destruct, unsuccessful. Mag gets back into it, gets slammed, gets some Brock Lesnar action there, or the Roman Reigns, what do you call it, spear?
The spear.
Spear of glory, crushing some spines.
Oh, that's why good to see some Reinhardt back here, but once again, still looking for those picks at the start of the fight, and Eva is out of mech here for Colonel Wong, so FoulPlay actually have a very good window of opportunity to get a very, very fast dive if they don't have a defense matrix available. So if they can try to con the con artists here, press their advantage, and I see them getting this back.
The Valk up with Frisco, and they've already got the pick on Natty, which is huge, but they walk straight into an Earth Shatter. That's a thunderous one. Sounds like a good night out in Christchurch with those earthquakes.
Yeah, that was certainly a rather thunderous shatter, and that grants them a very, very easy fight. Didn't need to invest much after it, but Valkyrie is invested here by FPS Frisco, getting back, and everyone is healed up, so this means FoulPlay, they're going to get another fight very quickly.
Use that opportunity right now with Froggo going down, but Archer's going to get traded out. They need to try and keep their healers alive if FoulPlay want to be able to capture this, as Frisco's up in the edge, getting some damage down, but the Doomfist charges in, he gets Mag right in the face, but the thing is, he's in a suit. He can stay alive for a little bit longer, as Frisco still up in the air, keeping people alive, doing a good job. And now they have Cassowary's Primal Rage and a self-destruct on the point that's clearing house. They're going to be able to cap this so they can deal with this Lucio.
And Checkers, unfortunately, getting the sound barrier off a little bit too late there, and Foulplay. Diva is trying to come back onto the point, but being body blocked immediately from the main tank and Cassowary. Good job there, and now we are locked in at 1-1. So, both of these maps, both teams running very different compositions, of course.
Yeah.
Widowmaker going to be the star sort of player or the star pick for that specific map, but I don't think a lot of it was due to it. Arch was certainly getting some good initial picks there, but Frisco, very good to get that Valkyrie, come back into the fight very quickly, and I think it sort of got them off guard on that defense, right? They got a few picks. Frisco came back from spawn, got very quick resurrections, and as a result of that, damage boosted frontline, and they ended up getting a very, very good engage onto that point.
Very difficult to get a hold of, not just to mention a Mercy with Valkyrie already up, but then you've got the Primal Rage Winston slapping people away trying to get to her. So, and in that instance, they've got to be end up capping it. They had to make sure she didn't get back to the team. In any case, they have another opportunity. We're going to be on Lighthouse this time around. Both teams move in just towards the checkpoint. Delta up high is already taking down Cook in the background. It's a good opportunity to move forward, and just like that, they've got to take the advantage and start getting the cap FoulPlay.
So once again, FoulPlay with a more classic composition, a sort of hybrid of a dive with that McCree as well. And of course, Koth, we've seen a lot of McCree players really utilized on these type of maps, especially Ilios, because you know the amount of power you can get and the high ground vantage points. And now, in the squad of con artists, they've decided to elect to go for a more dive-centric comp. In fact, identical to the other one besides the Zenyatta, so they're off that Reinhardt now.
Wong got desuited, Racket. Now he's going to have to sit around and wait to get it back up. And he's only at 45%.
So this means if they can try to spot him out and realize that he is out of mech, they can try to quickly take him out, because that is a window that you really want to take advantage of.
Ross trying to get around to the flank, because you can see Buzz is quite low. Valkyrie Buzz, but he's going to be able to stay alive as Cassowary gets a double kill. So he goes on the opposite side and jumps and bounces on the squishies. Now they've got Froggo in sight. That's going to be an easy hold for FoulPlay.
FoulPlay certainly maintaining their dominance so far, getting a lot of initiative coming into these fights and not really having to use their DPS ultimates in order to achieve these kills. Of course, Valkyrie was used in that fight from Frisco, But at the same time, Froggo's nowhere near, or he's halfway, so that means they can still get a good eco push coming into this next one because of the accumulation of what they've done with their resources.
Push in through the top side, and there's the high noon up here for Arch, and he's going to find Froggo. Without the Mercy, it's going to be difficult for the Con Artists to push through, and they're already going to start backing off.
And High Noon also a very good ultimate to attempt to try and take down these pharmacy compositions. If they are supplied by a defense matrix or a shield, they can really get those picks, but high ground is being contested on the top of the lighthouse, but Frost has to get back and gets punished as a result of it. So still more time for foul play.
Yeah, and look at all their ults. So even though they do have something to work with Con Artists, they're walking in to a line of ults ready from foul play, and with those staggers, they force themselves down to one last fight, which is going to be difficult because Delta's already up, waiting to see what people are going to do. And there's that dead eye from Cuff that could change the fate of the fight, Racket.
Cuff, he's going off like a prawn in the sun. Thank you for Striker for that catch line. I always wanted to use that one, mate. But it's good that they do end up getting back to the point, but one thing that you need to realize is they invested both of their DPS ultimates, so they don't have that in the bank. Of course, Farah and McCree, heroes that work very well without using it, so it's not too much of a downfall there. Of course, Valkyrie is the one that we need to look at, and they still have that available.
Delta just hovering just above, getting ready to push back in, and he gets some nice shots on Checkers. A bit low, needs to heal up as they post. Fight on top of the high ground, and Falcon's there with the Transcendence to keep people alive to push on forward, but they have to deal with the sound barrier, courtesy of Checkers. Now they've got the Primal Rage, trying to slap people away is Frost. And Cassowary, he's just going to reset, and that's alright, foul play, so plenty of time.
Yep, foul play, just generating the ultimates, and they will have Valkyrie available for this next fight. But key thing as well, Froggo didn't need to use his Valkyrie. They only just really invested that Primal Rage Sound Barrier. Sound Barrier is a very good one to get rid of, though, considering the McCree ult can be rather deadly in conjunction, or sorry, without the Sound Barrier used there. So it's good if they ended up baiting that out at the start of the fight.
Push in Con Artist, going to fight over in the medtac room as Delta, he gets resurrected, but there is a high noon from Cuff. Last time he did quite well with it, but this time around doesn't get much. But Natty's there to get some damage down, and they've already brought back Frost into the fight to give themselves an advantage. Archer's brought back to life, but there's not that many members unless Cassowary can keep doing damage here as the Winston. He picked up 2 kills. Mag's there to follow up, and there's a self-destruct on the point. That's going to clear house. Foul play in a lot better position now.
Foul play there, 99% at the moment. The last one to try and contest point is the Mercy. Poor Froggo, he is down. And foul play, they're going to comfortably take this Ilios at the end. But I say comfortably, but realistically, that was very, very close for that last match specifically.
So they pick up the win. Wait, are they doing best of 5s on
They're doing best of 5?
They're doing best of 5? That's weird.
Well,
Alright,
any matches?
True.
There we go.
Alright,
It's
2-1. So all they have to do is pick up one more win is foul play, and they get to keep moving forward.
See how they do work around that. Of course, Natty really popped off in the final stage of this map. Once they did get presence and they start to take that point, once they were getting the initiative in a lot of those fights, it gave Natty a lot more room to work with. So a lot of it's going to be dictated how long foul play can actually take remaining hold of that point, and if Con Artists can attempt to try and regain that, how much can they get at the back of it?
17 seconds. Get ready to go head to head once again. Foul play with the 1-point lead. Colonel Wong goes down. And one thing to mention, Racket, foul play, this was the map they lost on. They lost on well. So they're going to have to win here. They want to walk away with 3-1 victory.
Certainly, and already they have lost that first bit of the point. And I said this, if Con Artists do gain initial objective of this point, they looked a lot stronger. They struggled to retake, but if they do have the initial dominance, it gives Natty a lot more room. Cother's in the back line, really shredding those tanks with the McCree. So if they can get a really good rocket barrage, which they are very, very close to through this choke point like last time, I imagine they can get more successful round of percentages.
23% for Con play. Con Artist, sorry. Foul play. Con Artist. Anyway, 30%. They got some ults coming online, especially with that Deadeye with Cuff. He was pretty successful with it in the last couple of maps. Cassowary having a hard time getting forward. We'll get some heals though from Frisco. They're having a hard time getting through this choke.
They're really trying to get through. Sort of spread for the moment, FoulPlay. They were struggling to get onto the point, but Pharmacy was on the right and they managed to get some damage through. Cassowary manages to get rid of the Lucia at the start of the fight. So look at the amount of damage Delta is doing, and the hook is missed, so a lot of space is granted here.
58% and FoulPlay, they don't want that to tick up anymore because they just bomb rushed the point, doing a fantastic job, getting ready to cap this one out. Each member playing their part.
Delta on that right side of the flank, getting a lot of damage, and unfortunately the hit scan couldn't really deal with full health despite not being pocketed by the Mercy as well. Hook ended up missing. They were relying on that to try and shut that flank down. And unfortunately with that miss, Delta had a lot of room, got a lot of ult percentage as a result of it, and they still have Rocket Barrage available, but as a double kill with the Deadeye.
Whew. That Deadeye from Cuff, he's getting himself a good position. Natty goes down. Mag with the whole hog, charging away, chugging away, forcing Wong away from the choke. He has to put down that shield, and is putting the con artists in a difficult position. Cassowary's... Oh, that ult almost brought Mag down the well.
So close, but now the bongos have been used, so damage boost, but Frisco does have that Valkyrie, so despite that damage buff, Delta also with the Rocket Barrage not getting as much as they wanted, and all the support ultimates are being used right now. Full throttle brawl.
Frisco brings back Delta. They've still got some
Oh, wow.
firepower to go here, FoulPlay. If they can at least hold on to 99%, they'll be in a very good position to finish this map. They've got the supercharger on hand. They have to get the sound barrier so they can keep holding on, and Natty's very close. Will get taken out with the help of Frisco up in the air with the Valkyrie. 70% racket. Can FoulPlay finish?
FoulPlay have been doing a very good job at peeling for Arch at the top there, getting a lot of picks at the start of this fight. Farah also helping. Once the Genji attempted to go on that high bit of the lighthouse, was immediately pushed off. Frisco came in with the heal, and as a result of a lot of these divers coming in on Arch and Arch always surviving, they are really overextending. Mag gets punished with that tank shred.
2% of FoulPlay, and they've still got the supercharger and the sound barrier. Delta's about to get a rocket barrage, so they need to play pretty careful here, but they're already under pressure, trying to get in past that supercharger, and they're shredding through the members. But there's that Deadeye from Cuff. He does manage to find Delta. Mag will soon follow. Arch does get a kill back. Frisco brings back Delta. They keep that pressure on. The supercharger's finally worn out. But has the damage already been done? That rocket barrage went off. Did put a little bit of damage down. Didn't get any kills. But Rocco has just swooped in for a double resurrection to give some hope for the con artists.
Well, Frisco elect to use Valkyrie, does use it, and unfortunately wastes it there at the end. That is absolutely massive here for the con artists. They've managed to get a very good deal at the end of this. They get the point, they get Valkyrie down, and also it forces Arch to get off that Widowmaker too. So they've done a very good job for themselves. Rocket Barrage didn't do anything in the backline, and the onslaught was survived there for the artists.
80% for the artists. They're just trying to hold on. They do have a Dragon Blade racket, so if you can get into the back line, Natty, you could get some damage done. Further delay, but we have Mag's whole hog looking for an entry point to push in. But there goes that Dragon Blade in the back line, but he gets taken out so quick. No follow-up from his team. That's going to cost them as they push forward. He's too far away to get a resurrection, but the hook from Frost and then the Deadeye from Cuff, that could be enough for the corner to stay in this fight racket.
FoulPlay managed to get a resurrection, and they're parting back as a team. They're all joined in as one, and Bongo Drum, everyone is damage boosted right now for the con artist. Whole hog used right there from Mag and pushed into the well. This is a very close fight. We're also seeing a Doomfist into the fray too.
Punch his way to a victory. Move forward. He has the shield up as well. Cassowary's quite low. He's not in a good position to get healed up. Frisco can't get to him in time. They deflect on for Arch. It's just two members trying to hold on, and they get forced away from the point. It's 2-2. We're going to the fifth
Let me
match.
get you patched up.
And what a spice at the end that Doomfist was. Natty electing to change through three different heroes, of course, started on that Farah, then the Genji, that Dragon Blade. I think it was a little bit too greedy. He was the only one in the back line there, and when you're up against a McCree composition, you always have the threat of that flashbang shutting you down. Went there by himself, obviously got punished, but straight switch to that Doomfist, comes into the point, gets a lot of shielding on the engage, pocketed through, and gets two picks off the bat. So doing a good job to adapt there. Natty was hovering it around a few of these rounds. I was wondering if it was just a tease, but apparently that is part of the wheelhouse there for the con artists. And of course, no Widowmaker for the side of here from FoulPlay this time. They have a Junkrat adaptation here. Let's see how Cuss tries to take advantage of the range that they do have on Ruins.
2-2 deadlock. Ruins the final point of Helios, and it was FoulPlay who won on this previously. Let's go kind of cold. A little bit of trouble there. Frost, he's taken so much damage. He'll go down. Checkers the soon to follow, but they get 2 back. Makes that 3, and con artists, they looked a little bit worse for wear, but they're bringing this fight back. But Mag, they got to deal with this man. He got 2 kills, and he's like no HP on his mech.
It's a little bit of a spanner of work, isn't it? Because you have so much close range presence with this composition with the Doomfist and the Widowmaker, so you have sort of a hybrid of best of both worlds. So not managing to find the balance to try and take that out. Of course, Delta with that concussive mine can be very useful when trying to deal with the Doomfist. So electing him to be one of the star players and trying to shut down Natty on that particular hero.
Delta getting a bit of that juice from Frisco, trying to soften up the enemies, bruise them. They look for their entry point. Arch trading shots with Cuff. They go in with the cassowary right onto the point. The troops come in. Natty's charging up that fist, and he gives it to Mag, puts him on half health. That's a nice start, but Cuff and Froggo both go down. FoulPlay looking to cap this point now, Racket.
FoulPlay there, just hiding around right now, and it looks like con artists won't be successful. They are fighting rather valiantly, no LA Valiant, but Primal Rage does come out there from Boss, goes into the backline and manages to take out a few of the FoulPlay members, so this just tips the fight on its head. The break it down invested, this is going to be a long one.
No barrier for Checkers to keep people alive, but it's going to be hard with that self-destruct on the point. It should keep the cap towards FoulPlay, but they're continuing to delay here, con artists. About to tick up to 60%. If Froggo can get swoop in for the resurrection, nope, he's just going to die.
But in saying that, first match, the first fight of this particular map in Ruins, 60% there for con artists. They're going to be quite happy with that. And already Frost is coming in from the front line, but is going to be immediately punished. Actually does end up getting healed up behind that shield, pounces away, and that's a very big missed opportunity there from FoulPlay.
Yeah, because they didn't have their whole entire team, con artists, and now they do have their 6 members. As they get ready to move in with Natty charging forward, but he's already taken half damage. Too much damage taken from him, but he's up in the air with a meteor strike. Where's he going to land? Right into the back line. But that red tire from Delta claims a triple kill.
Can't get tired of that one. So kill will give con artists a lot of room to work with, but once again, Froggo managing to get all of these members back online, inserting the confidence into their squad. They're fighting against FoulPlay, break it down, used from Falcon, but that's not really going to achieve too much. Of course, they're trying to store the point, so they're probably not going to win this fight, but their goal is to store.
They haven't managed to jump onto it. I would have let that sound barrier go and just save it, because they are quite even. Because they would have needed this to get the point back.
I do rate Sound Barrier as a rather premium ultimate. I tend to agree with you in that situation. I don't think it was particularly worth. You gained about 5% off that particular ultimate. It's not like a Primal Rage, a low econ one that you can use just to attempt to stall it. Sound Barrier, a little bit more value because of its AoE. So I do think that's a little bit of a mistake, but of course, con artists, they do have control of the point. Let's see if they can snowball this. Natty, looking for a few picks, manages to retreat back.
Be careful because it's ticking up to 90%, but they're throwing the self-destruct, but it goes too deep. And now, speaking of things that are going to go deep, it's the blade from Cuff. He's already picked up one. McNatty with a double kill, but Arch and Mag get resurrected, Racket.
See what they can do with that. Of course, the kill feed is lighting blue at the moment, but you still have plenty of members on FoulPlay on point. Of course, they've changed this pharmacy composition to attempt to deal with the low-range Doomfist that they do have with McNatty. See how they can deal with it.
Gets desuited. Meteor strike lands right down on Falcon's head. He's going to have a quick trip to the grave as Frost gets himself a double kill. It's all con artists on the point. FoulPlay, they're looking worse for wear. They've got only one member. That's being Arch left alive, and he can't do it. Who else is... No, he's still there. He recalled, but he will be sliced away, and that will be con artists coming back with 2 maps in a row on Ilios to bring it back from 3-1. No, 2-1. What were they? 2-1. They won 2 in a row.
It's
all
about as
down
close
2 to
as you
1.
can get, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was an extremely close match, and I think at the end there, FoulPlay really tried to adapt their style into dealing with that very close range composition, getting the pharmacy out. I think if they wanted to do that, should have done a lot earlier. I think Falra Widow would probably be the prime or like a McCree long range hero to try to deal with a lot of the onslaught that was coming in through those backlines. And I think with that side barrier as well, that was something that we need to reflect on, because that would have been one of the primary resources to invest onto that last fight. Just imagine how much easier of a time FoulPlay would have had if they had that available. But of course, that is hindsight, right? Everyone does make those mistakes. But either way, FoulPlay, they had their time in the sun for a lot of the moments in this map as well. So don't be tilted or anything like that, because certainly they had their chances to shine as well, and they did a great job.
And now they get the choice of Hollywood or Kings Row for FoulPlay. Kings will be the choice coming out from FoulPlay. Have you seen either of these teams play on Kings Row?
Not sure, but I guess Kings Row is a map that everyone tends to scrim. From what we've seen so far with the hero pool, I'm trying to evaluate. Con artists really do like running the Reinhardt. We saw on the first sort of half of Ilios that Frost selected to run that particular hero. And if there is a map that Reinhardt can be played on, in a sort of quote-unquote near optimal sense, it would be Kings Row. Obviously a lot better than Ilios, in my opinion. So I'm predicting they would probably run that. The question is, they haven't had any Zarya so far, understandably, considering the map pick at Ilios. So seeing if they can maybe allow that combo to get in with the classical Reinhardt Zarya composition. Will they attempt to get that Doomfist online as well? I guess a lot of those will be answered quite quickly.
I feel with Ilios being so closely contested between the two sides that Kings Row being more comfortable for a lot of teams, I expected another close matchup between the two. And I'm thinking a FoulPlay victory, just getting over the line. But the thing that the thing that I need to see is, does the loss, them getting swept on Ilios, does that affect them going into Kings Row?
Well, that is definitely a question. I think a lot of people sort of have this idea that if you get flogged, that's going to be your primary source of everyone's going to be very demoralized. I think the closest matches are sometimes the ones where people actually do get a little bit desensitized as to, oh yeah, can we actually beat these guys? We're so close. If only we did this, we would have won that match. So you always have those questions being planted in your head. And of course, in a tournament environment, when you're playing up against people live, this is when those attributes will show the most. So let's see if FoulPlay can really try to fight back against the team of Con artists, because last time it was very close. See if they can get some vengeance in.
We take a look at the lineups over here on the defense. Colonel Wong still going to opt for that Orisa, and Frost going to stick to the Roadhog. He had some success on the Winston as well, back on Ilios. And they got Frogo again on his beloved Mercy. McNatty going to be playing the Junkrat. His cuff, he's deciding on what hit scan to go with. He will end up choosing the McCree Checkers. He's going to switch out of that Lucio and optimize for the Zenyatta, which is a lot better for Kings Row.
Certainly, I think that's a better decision. And as we have been seeing a lot more on Kings Row, this very stationary composition, the Roadhog comp. So their win condition is to get those picks with the whole combo with the hook and make sure the attack has a difficult time. Let's see if the D.Va can try to tank a lot of the incoming damage here on the rotations. Arch needs to get some picks.
You need to get into the back line, especially with that D.Va and the Winston, and then lead the charge. The spawn point is so much closer, so it doesn't even matter if they lose 1 or 2, they'll still have that advantage. And see, they've gone in deep. Check is the first one to fall. Frogo there. With both those supports down, this should be an easy take for FoulPlay.
Very good that they were aggressive early on. You don't want to give that Roadhog composition too much room. Otherwise, you get picks left, right, and center, and it can snowball really, really well. If you want to get into these fights very, very quickly, that is what you do. Initiate with a pick and collapse straight onto it. Frost is going to be staggered over here as well. Actually, no, does manage to escape. He is on low health, but Frogo managing to keep him up. Hook coming out, and Delta has to use the recall.
Big hooks, and Plant is talking of things that are big. Look at the time bank bracket.
And that's a really good result there. It's going to allow them to test the waters, and allow them a lot more breathing room. But once again, Mag, fantastic defense matrix saved there, and the previous hook as well. Valkyrie is now used. They want to get into this fight.
Counter engaged, and they've used the pulse bomb, able to get a couple of members with Frost going down. Delta gets resurrected for his efforts with that pulse bomb, and Mag, he's doing a fantastic job. Keep your eye on this man, Racket. He's been picking up a lot of frags.
Certainly has, and despite the kill feed, the amount of kills he has been getting, I'm a bit more impressed by his defense matrix use. He's already saved about 3 players already in this match, opposite when the Roadhog Hook came out. So that's making it a little bit more difficult for the room to come in from CoN Artists, and they have elected to change off that Roadhog.
Rolling in the self-destruct, and it catches Froggo lurking in the backside, but they're still going to push for good check. Transcendence. They have a couple of members, but they have to get the next pick. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. And it's Colonel Wong. He's the closest member to fall down. Has the Orb of Harmony to keep him alive. And McNatty's Riptire gets destroyed. Colonel Wong's mech gets destroyed as well. And McNatty falls down. And it's just FoulPlay pushing down a lot of pressure.
FoulPlay are very, very successful at the moment. And they're just absolutely dominating so far in this King's Row map. Already a very, very clear difference on this payload archetype, being well on this attack, taking a lot of initiative in these engages. Of course, Widowmaker can be a little bit more difficult, of course, because of this tight and closed space. It's going to be up to the tanks and, of course, the new recruit in Natty with that Genji to attempt to make sure that Arch doesn't have too much breathing room. But at the same time, Mag is doing a very good job at making sure that those targets are peeled for.
Frost throws down the flame strike. He's trying to get something out of it. But he's pushed pretty far forward. He's trying to whack people away like it's flies around a piece of turd. But he's going to get taken down for his troubles. Gets destroyed by Mag. Cut there with the revenge. Colonel Wong needs to get into the back line. Needs to use his defense matrix. But his team is starting to fall down around him. He's going to be the lone wolf going in. Tough there to join. Gets taken down. This Transcendence from Falcon could just be the final nail in the coffin, and let's check it to stay alive.
Maybe they've blown a little bit too much, so don't forget both of those support odds, but Frost, with that Earth Shadow could provide a little bit more room, but in saying that, Primal Rage, a lot of health to deal with, they can't run.
4 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Defense still holding on. They get the picks. Did he fat finger? He just used his death ball.
Maybe he thought that he just wanted to roleplay a Beyblade there for a little bit. So he was thinking, I haven't seen the Beyblade meta for a while. I just want to see if the Cube Reaper button works still because of the accents of that particular meta.
Your pun just gave me asthma, mate. Jesus Christ.
That's not a surprise.
Well, let's see what happens. Will this give them asthma with this explosion? Will be Froggo. He coughs up a lung. And he's going to be taken out pretty quickly as Mag can follow up with a kill on Colonel Wong. They get cubbed as well, so they go time for FoulPlay. They've got to pull the trigger. They've got to capture more members before anyone gets resurrected. And that pulse bomb will claim the life of Frost. Now they need to find a little checkers hiding on the left-hand side. They do have their Mercy up with Froggo, but he doesn't have a Valkyrie racket.
So that's the primary source of frontline gone. You still have Colonel Wong there, and he's trying to store the point.
This is it for FoulPlay. They have to finish here. This is the best opportunity to do so with a lot of time on the clock. But Checkers comes in with the Transcendence and the Dragon Blade from Natty. He has to go huge. He's found one. What else can he find, Racket?
Mag, once again, peeling very well, using that thruster to push him away from the support line. Valkyrie as well from Visco was up in the air. No chance of getting her when she's flying high like that. Colonel Wong trying to stall that, but I feel like you're only delaying the inevitable.
Can we get to the cut? There we go. Nicely done. Plenty of time in the bank. I didn't get to see the final tick there, so I was too busy watching the chaos. Here we go. Let's see what they're going to get, Racket. And time remaining is 2 minutes, 51 seconds. That's a lot of time for FoulPlay.
So they were very successful on the red pack. Let's try to see the opposite playstyle. Let's see how they can defend. And not only I feel like CoN Artists, they're a little bit more successful once they do have that advantage in attacking, once they do get that more initiative because of the hero pool that they do have as well. I feel like Natty is a very aggressive player. This is why he's been hovering over a lot of Doomfist. This is why he's hero pool, and he's been getting so many frags with his ultimate, right? Of course, Genji, he didn't manage to get a lot of value with that Dragon Blade, but I feel like with his Fire and Doomfist, that's really where they start to really inject a lot of the pace back in on their attack. So if Cuth can get some picks, of course, Widowmaker is also an option. So, of course, against the Reinhardt composition, it can be rather difficult to get those picks, but your job is to control the space. Your job is to make sure that they have a very difficult time rotating, you're cutting off a lot of the angles, and you're making sure that team composition is very stiff and they don't have too much room to work with. That is going to be the job for this attacking squad, and if they can try to sort that out, Doomfist try to phase them out with that shift and the punch, whilst you have the Widowmaker and the Winston controlling the space at the front with it as well.
Will he be able to deal with Mag's Zarya? Because he's going to be able to shield people that the Doomfist gets a hold of. And then on top of that, you're going to be Discord orbed from Falcon, and then you have a bunch of Junkrat concussion mines pushing you around.
This is why it's going to be so hard, because you're right. FoulPlay do have a decent composition to try and interact with the counterpart here in CoN Artists. That Junkrat's going to be so good for killing for the Doomfist, and Mag, if his shield timings are good, then it's going to be difficult to initiate a pick and Cuff. He's already gone at the start.
What a mine! So talk about saving Private Ryan. Who is going to save Cuff? It will be Froggo.
It's Froggo.
To get that right. Froggo's little son. His little Froggo Jr. Froggo comes with the rescue. But look at Doomfist with RMC Natty. He's going up around the higher ground. He's going to jump in. Now they pile into the back line. But the thing is, they don't have too many shields. And will they charge up this Zarya? Because they've already got the kill on Frost. Arch goes down. Cassowary goes down. And they begin to cap. They're already halfway there. And will they be living on a prayer?
Oh, wow. They need more than a prayer to get back at this point, mate. They're all gone. And unfortunately, that is the sort of weakness with that Reinhardt composition, especially. I don't think Delta was actually planted on that high ground either. Maybe a little bit scared from getting a pick up there from Toth. So they didn't have any sort of crossfire to play with. They were all just sort of in a corner. And when you're up against the Doomfist, that's where he wants to get you, right in the corner, so he can get that one-shot kill. And unfortunately, they didn't get enough disengage with those passive mines and the shields. A little bit too slow on the trigger finger there.
5 minutes left on the clock for CoN Artists to keep this momentum moving forward. They've mirrored the play of FoulPlay so far in this match bracket. The question is, can they continue this momentum?
And he could be punished there. Yeah, does get punished. But Battery is being used, attempting to get that player back through. Froggo is healing all of those members, making sure to cleave heal all of them as well. And now they're investing into the backline.
Already taking down the mech of Colonel Wong. Emptying out the armory is FoulPlay. Taking down several members, but that meteor strike from Natty is going to be big, picking up a double kill. That's both DPS Storm, but Frisco's there. Mama's here to swoop in to give Delta a second life. Going to put a band-aid over the boo-boo as the tactical visor gets whipped out from Delta. He finds Natty to get some revenge, but that cart is still moving forward, Racket.
Despite Tactical Visor being used, the Transcendence was there to defuse the situation. They didn't have any chance of getting a pick through that. And right now, the frags aren't in favor of FoulPlay. Once again, these attacking teams, they're looking a lot more comfortable on the attack rather than the defense.
5 minutes, 20 seconds left to capture the final point. And can they get more time in the bank than FoulPlay? That is what is at stake at the moment, Racket.
Is certainly the question. Of course, 5 minutes, even better than FoulPlay. Of course, this was a little bit of a slower push for FoulPlay when they did get to this point. Let's see if the same story can be provided here for the CoN Artists.
Let's not forget, the CoN Artists win here on King's Row. They're going to walk away with the victory. And there's the Graviton Surge consuming several members. Mag comes up huge. Cassowary to get in the middle. Needs to shield this. Nicely done. Now they can stagger people. They can stagger Colonel Wong. Just have a look at him. Nope, they're just going to deal with it. Froggo, he understands the situation. He's just going to dive off the map.
Now, despite the sort of funky looking play there, I don't think that the Earthshatter needed to be invested. They had about 3 members there, and the kill threat was very low. I think if you want to have those tank ultimates, and if you already have it on lockdown, you want to rotate for the next fight.
Yep.
So,
we need a pause.
Oh.
Craft? Oh no, that's someone else.
No, that's someone in the spectator, I'm pretty sure.
Alright, all good, all good. Bless. You can keep this game moving forward as Colonel Wong gets de-suited from Cassowary. McNatty trying to go forward, but he gets forced backwards. He's trying to get out of harm's way. He's very close, but can get around the corner just in time to survive.
See how they can deal with this. Of course, Arch is now onto that Genji. Winston is trying to dismantle a lot of that high ground presence, and as a result, look at FoulPlay. They are dissembling like an ant's nest on fire.
They need to extinguish the fire. They're going to try and do it with the struck going in the back line, find checkers. And look at this, the supercharger, getting so much energy, so much attack power to FoulPlay as they push forward, get more members. But checkers, he's been resurrected, he's brought back, he's got to use the transcendence, but there is no one to follow up with any sort of damage. This Delta, he just dispersed the frost.
And that was a great Earth Shatter there. I felt a few tectonic plates moving when that was casted, so got a few picks as a result of that, of course. Rotating those tank ultimates always going to be a positive, and now they've elected to run this Reinhardt. This is really what they were comfortable with, right? We saw them run this on earlier. King's Row is a better map for this hero, so Frost can really get in the rhythm, heal him up, get that confidence in. Dragonblade.
Actually, time for Arch. Cuff does the exact same. He's already taken down Delta, and Natty's there to follow up. They've gotten several kills, and Frogger brings back checkers. They know they need a cap here. They're already down in time by about 12 or 13 seconds. They get inch and inch closer to this golden square, and both teams 2 minutes and 32 seconds and 2 minutes and 51 seconds by FoulPlay.
Once again, this is very, very closely contested by both of these teams. Now, both of these teams seem very comfortable on their attack, so I don't think it's a question of whose attack is going to be better, but whose defense is going to be more durable. So I want to see a little bit more of positioning changes here. Now, one thing that especially I think CoN artists struggle to do with their composition on the defense is to really capture that high ground and enable some crossfire, manipulate a lot more angles on that high ground. Otherwise, if everyone is segregated on the ground, there's only one real place to aim, right? You want to make sure, especially on the defense where you have the initiative to position, you can lock down those specific sectors. If the attack comes in, you have to force them to clear you, right? In that situation, it just sort of looked like a free bundle of space, and as a result, the dive came in for both attacks and bundled up all of those players rather quickly.
The big key problem I see on defense that is glaring to me is ult management. We've seen a couple of times from both teams waste ultimates that they didn't need to use, and then it could have changed the story of their team's performance if they had that ult in the next upcoming fight.
Don't forget that tank ultimates, they usually take a little bit longer to charge up as well. So if you're using them incorrectly, then you're using a primary resource that heavily is reliant on winning a lot of those fights. And as you said, if you do misuse them, it's a big hole in your game.
And with these two teams evenly matched, I feel like that one ult could be the thing that tips the scale into their favoring team. Let's see what happens. As it is CoN artists moving forward on the offense early on. They've already got 2 picks. So just like before, we're seeing a lot of offensive action, but that hook from Mag, he's able to take out Natty, which is a big part of the offense for CoN artists, but they still got the kill on Cassowary. The resurrection from Froggo, this should be enough to push them over the line.
It certainly is, and a much better rotation right there for CoN artists, clearing the top ground. McNatty doing a good job, despite dying there in the end. Did clear the high ground, did get Delta out with that fist once he rotated there. And also Cuth managed to secure the closest platform to the point where the the defense is usually standing as well. So good that they cleared the space, phased out the opposition. But right now, FoulPlay, they're being snowballed on. This is relentless.
Yeah, I was going to say, FoulPlay could hold on in the second phase. I could see them winning. But that's not going to be the case now because they've created so much space for themselves, CoN artists, to allow this escort to keep gaining ground.
Well, they smell blood in the water right now. They're just completely... I know I stole your line, Bobby. You always use that, mate. But it's a good one, so I needed to steal it. So right now, 60 seconds. Well. Yeah, I just steal everyone's lines, mate. Yeah, that's why I've been watching Overwatch League so intensely. I've just been stealing Uber's lines, so...
You're the uni lad caster, mate. Anyway, 40 seconds, and this escort is almost around the final bend. But Delta got a nice Helix rocket off on the cuff, and they push forward, knowing that they've got the man advantage, and they've got to stop it here. They can't allow CoN artists to capture 2 points and tick up to 5 when it's coming to the extra round.
Meteor Strike!
But that Meteor Strike, as you mentioned, Racket, gets a nice double kill, and they have a supercharge.
Wow.
Supercharge of the Falcon.
That was absolutely huge. Getting Frisco as well. Don't forget, Frisco was extremely close to Valkyrie. Froggo just finished his. So all of these members very confident they're being topped up. And it's very likely they're going to transcend onto this third point.
Every time I go to start the question as Doomfist, Natty changes my mind, especially with those Meteor Strikes. He's landed multiple Meteor Strikes that have gained 1 or 2 kills.
Doing a really good job to try and penetrate that back line through as well. Delta being shut down multiple times with that dive. And of course, with the tactical visor available, Delta is still going to be a primary target, right? You want to make sure that you keep on the lockdown. Don't give him the space. Otherwise, on this particular point, that's going to shred through.
If they can get around this corner and push it around about halfway to the end, the final stretch, I can see them walking away with this victory as the overtime bar is up. Cup's got a double kill on the Tracer, but they need to keep people on the cart. That is the issue right now. But as soon as you keep longer at overtime, that bar is going to shrink so much faster. But Natty, he's got himself a kill. How long can they survive for, Racket?
See?
Don't walk away from the cart!
Oh, that was so close, but both members trying to really struggle. Colonel Wong is getting shredded right now, discorded onto the cart, and they hold on.
They're going to be able to hold on. They're going to be able to claim the cart back. Foul play gets to the final bend. They can breathe a sigh of relief as soon as Natty just jumps in and sacrifices his life one more time. Got to the final corner, but that is a fantastic push. They're in a good position now, CoN Artists, to win the match.
No doubt. That is going to be really, really big, right? And I think Foul Play, they need to get all of their resources out. They need to go as aggressive as possible if they want to have a chance of pushing through. Now, in saying that, Bobby, here is the common trend of this series. The attacking team looks really good, and the defending team looks a bit combuzzled, right? We've seen several times that the defenders haven't had a very good lock-on as to what locations to secure. They looked a bit flustered as the dives come in. So this is going to be the adaptation that Foul Play need to take into consideration. How is their positioning going to be? How are they going to sort that out, right? And I think CoN Artists, their attack looked a lot cleaner, I feel, in that particular round. They adapted quite well. And now they're making a team composition adaptation as well. So now they have a Reaper, Roadhog, and Soldier 76 composition. So if you are a tank from Foul Play, you're going to get immediately shredded. So they need to make sure with their positioning, they need to really be careful as to where they dive. And they're going to be so incredibly reliant on Arc and Delta to try and clean up those and attempt to take and force a lot of the pressure out from the tanks. Otherwise, we're going to see some very quick ultimates from the side of CoN Artists.
I think this is the play that wins. I think this Reaper pick will turn the tide into the favor of CoN Artists, and they're going to be hold on because I don't see a Winston surviving for very long unless it can be protected by the defense matrix. But we'll soon find out as Foul Play, they're just under the Mendata statue, and the hook's already come through. And you can look at that, he's just annihilated straight away Cassowary, just as we thought.
One sort of flaw that we already see with the CoN Artists composition, they're all positioned towards the floor. So if Foul Play can make an adaptation, try to secure that high ground and establish better line of sights where they can't exactly reach them, don't forget CoN Artists, they have no means of actually jumping up there. McNally is going to be the only one who can protect the high ground right now.
Wall just holding down the fort. Huff, he's going to get himself into the hotel. Who can he find? He's gone for the squishies though. He needs to be there for the Winston. He's got to hold on to the front line and make sure they're denied, but in any case, they still can do that. There he goes. He finds Cassowary in the end.
There you go, and already a very successful defense here from the CoN Artists. And with this short-range composition, if they get very early engages, they can really make the tank's job difficult to attempt to try and insert themselves into that backline.
1 minute, 30 seconds. They enter in, moving towards the checkpoint. Is Foul Play. They know they don't have time on their side anymore, and they got to push this cart almost to the very end. So they have to push in now. They have to find kills. It's a good start because they get Froggo and Natty, but they have Cuff with a Death Blossom, and this is the moment I'm saying that this Reaper will be the big difference maker. He finds 2 kills. Frisco there with a massive save, but they have to try and stay alive. But it's going to be hard when they've got the supercharger with Colonel Wong down on the floor.
Frisco's Valkyrie has helped so much in this fight, but the Death Blossom there from Cuff was so strong that it's going to force out that tactical visor, which actually is a sort of positive coming in from the attacking side, because FoulPlay, they had no intention of getting back into that fight. So that ultimate is immediately wasted there, but in saying that, they can accumulate rather quickly onto this last fight, but they won't most likely get that Soldier Tactical Visor, saying that the resource invested, something that we need to keep an eye out for, but they both have support ultimates for this fight. It's going to be difficult to get through.
There goes Valkyrie. Who can he keep alive in the fight? Cassowary, he's quite low. He's going to hit the Primal Rage. He's going to create some space. He needs to keep Cuff away from his team and not get chugged down. But McNatty, he's already used the Helix Rocket to take out Frisco, so they're down without their Mercy. And Cuff just hit the Death Blossom. He didn't really find anything because they had to transfer them up and alive. Yes. What can they find now? They got to go in deep here. FoulPlay have to find something, but there's so many members left alive, it's going to be too hard.
It's going to be very difficult. Cuff accumulated that Death Blossom so quickly. Resurrection does come out onto Cassowary though, so their main tank is back through, but once again, this short-range composition, they are shredding through. Tactical Visor coming in from McNatty. That's going to secure the deal.
That's a lot better. Lucky he got that one up, and CoN Artists walk away with the victory. They claim third place in the Australian Amateur Overwatch League here in Season 3. So big congratulations to CoN Artists. Shout out though to FoulPlay, they took 4th spot. Soon we'll be coming up with our grand final. See the big shout out there from Cassowary. What do you think the big difference was, Bracket, between the two teams?
I think CoN Artists just seemed very well at using their own playstyle. I think FoulPlay, they were a team that liked to play a lot towards the meta, but maybe wasn't so necessarily in their favor. I felt like CoN Artists, even though they didn't have the quote-unquote most meta picks, they looked very comfortable in what they played. Their hero pool was quite wonky at times, but you could say when they did play it, they looked very comfortable on it, right? They didn't necessarily have to flex outside it with their own comfort range, and they adapted to the style that they wanted to do at the end of the day, and they were very confident in themselves. They took initiative into a lot of these fights, and they knew what their win condition was up against FoulPlay.
So, Mr. Producer Man, do you want us taking a break, or what are we doing? Because we got to move on to the next match, correct?
Looks like till 8:30, which is the next match time.
Right.
So we got a half an hour break.
Half an hour break, ladies and gentlemen. So stick around. We'll put some tunes up here, and let's put the countdown up, and let's get ready for the next match.